And Chair Tapio Romero, I have a hard stop at 8:30 due to a DFA meeting I need to attend, so I apologize. I'll try to get through as much as the meeting as possible.
No worries. And if trends keep the way they are, we should be okay.
That's what I figured.
Chairman
Thank
Tapia
you.
Romero, we are streaming.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Board of Education Finance Committee meeting. I would like to call the meeting to order. Dr. Albright, may I have a roll call, please?
Ronaldo Tomorito,
Here.
Heather Benavides,
Here.
Josefina Dominguez, Crystal Tapia Romero.
Here. So our first item is to consider adoption of the January 22nd, 2025 Finance Committee meeting agenda. May I have a motion, please?
I move that we adopt the January 22nd, 2025 Finance Committee meeting agenda. This is Board Member Benavides.
I will second Board Member Tomorito.
Thank you. Dr. Albright, may I have a roll call?
Ronaldo Tomorito,
Yes.
Heather Benavides,
Yes.
Crystal Tapia Romero.
Yes. Our next item is to consider approval of the minutes from the Finance Committee meeting on December 18th, 2024. Do I have a motion?
I will move to approve the minutes from the Finance Committee meeting held on December 18th, 2024. Board Member Benavides.
And I will second Tomorito.
Thank you, ladies. Dr. Albright, may I have a roll call?
Ronaldo Tomorito,
Yes.
Heather Benavides,
Yes.
Crystal Tapia Romero.
Yes. So our next item is to consider approval of the qualification-based proposal in the amount of $42,850,000. This is submitted by Thompson Construction for the Corrales K-8 and granting signatory authority of all necessary easements for infrastructure to the board president and secretary. Our presenter for this is Mr. Hawkes. You have the floor, sir.
Good morning, Madam Chair, members of the committee. So before you, we have consideration of approval for qualification-based proposal in the amount of $42,850,000 submitted by Thompson Construction for Corrales K-8 and granting signatory authority of all necessary easements for infrastructure to the board presidency and secretary. And with that, Madam Chair, members of the committee, I open it up for any questions you may have. And I also have Karen Allred here with us to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you. Members of the committee, do we have any questions related to this item? Okay, I see none. We will continue. Thank you. Our next item is to consider approval of grant budget adjustments for the following funds. The first is for music in the community at Dolores Gonzalez for year 24-25 for $2,500. The second is Title III, year 24-25 in the amount of $666,361. And the final is from ARPA, year 24-25 for $41,855,000. And our presenters for this are Ms. Apodaca and Ms. Montoya. I'll turn it over to you, ladies. Thank you.
Good morning. Madam Chair, committee members, presenting for your consideration of approval are the items as described. The first one for a mini grant to support the purchase of program supplies at Dolores Gonzalez Elementary School. The Title III is carryover of unspent by expiration. The third one, ESSER 3, decrease to close the funding. The district was strategically aligned with a higher budget than allowed for high flexibility and turnaround, and this is just closing that out. And with that, I stand for questions.
Board Chair Tapia Romero, your microphone.
Yes. Sorry, I apologize. Do we have any questions from the committee? Thank you. We will continue. Our next item is to consider approval of the December 2024 interfunction transfers for grant budget. And our presenter for this is Ms. Montoya.
Madam Chair, committee members presenting for your consideration of approval, the interfunction transfers for grant budget for December 2024. These are just alignments presented are approved by PED applications and regular program budget transfers. Nothing unusual. Any questions?
Thank you, Ms. Matoye. Members of the committee, any questions on this? Okay, I see none. We will continue on. Our next item is to consider approval of the December 2024 intra-function transfers for grant budget. And Ms. Matoye, back to you.
Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the committee, presenting for your consideration of approval, the intra-function transfers for grant management for December 2024. Once again, these are alignments for regular program budget transfers and nothing out of the ordinary.
Perfect. Thank you. Members of the committee, any questions? Okay, I see none. We will continue. Our next item is to consider approval of the December 2024 interfunction transfers for all non-categorical funds. And Ms. Montoya, I assume, yes, back to you.
This item is to consider approval of December 2024 interfunction transfers for all non-categorical funds. This agenda item requests your approval of 9 interfunction budget transfers in the operational fund totaling $37,000. 3 out of the 9 transfers use at-risk funds. 1 uses bilingual funds, and the remaining 5 use general funds. Stand for any questions.
Thank you. Members of the committee, any questions? Thank you. Okay, we will continue. Our next item, goodness, I just lost, there we go, is to consider approval of the December 24 intra-function transfers for all non-categorical funds. And Ms. Montoya, floor is yours.
Madam Chair, committee members, consider approval of December 2024 intra-function transfers for all non-categorical funds. This agenda item requests your approval of intra-function budget transfers for all non-categorical funds totaling $1.1 million. In operational funds, $62,000 in transportation funds, $200,000 in food and nutrition service funds, and $13.5 million in capital funds. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Ms. Montoya. And again, thank you for those summaries. Members of the committee, any questions? Okay, thank you so much, Ms. Montoya. Our next item is consideration for approval of gifts, grants, and donations for more than $5,000. We have 2 today, the donation of $10,000 to La Mesa Elementary School and the second donation of $10,146 to La Cueva High School. And our presenter for this is Mr. Turnbull. Mr. Turnbull, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the board, Superintendent Blakey. Again, I present for your approval 2 donations, one from to La Mesa Elementary School for $10,000 to be used at discretion of the school and for community endeavors. And the second donation for $7,146 to La Cueva High School for UCLA High School national fees. With that, I stand for questions.
Thank you, Mr. Turnbull. Members of the committee, do we have any questions on this? Okay, thank you so much. We will go ahead and continue. Our next item is 4.8, is to consider approval of removal of equipment reported as missing for more than 2 years on July 1st, 2021 through June 30th, 2024. And for this item, we have Mr. Ellison, our Senior Director of Capital Fiscal Services. Sir, you have the floor.
Thank you. Good morning, Madam Chair, members of the board, Superintendent Blakey, and happy birthday. I am presenting for your consideration of approval the removal of equipment reported missing for more than 2 years from July 1st, 2021 through June 30th, 2024. It is to comply with the Board of Education policy for fiscal management and our fixed asset inventory procedural directive. It states after 2 years, missing inventory shall be reported to the Board of Education and deleted from TipWeb and the district's asset management system. The attached documentation that we present identifies those that are lost or stolen from July 1st, 2021 to June 30th, 2024. The missing greater than 2 years is in the amount of $28,604,966.64. In order to safeguard and minimize the risk of these missing and to protect our assets, we have implemented a few of the initiatives, and they are all listed below on the action memo. But just to highlight a few, with APS, and we have an APS technology inventory control team. We are working with technology to identify current users and differentiate that from missing assets. Our asset management awareness campaign, which is Tag Your It. We have increased and improved our communication to leadership and principals, TipWeb trainings, missing items district campaign, and developed a missing asset form that goes to each site and department. And with that, I stand for questions.
Thank you, Mr. Ellison, and I appreciate you discussing some of the safeguards that have been put into place to, minimize the amount of items that are going missing. So with that, I will open it up to the committee because I had several questions prior to ensure that, new things have changed and we're not continuing the same path as before. But I want to ensure that we all have time to ask appropriate questions on this item. Members of the committee, any questions?
Chair Tapia Romero, I don't have a question, just a comment that number is kind of shocking, but I do appreciate the guardrails that have been put into place, and thank you for the presentation.
Thank you.
Thank you. And I agree. When I first saw it, I was a little taken back. And then I'll be honest, I reminded myself too that this amount has decreased from before. It was significantly even higher than this. So to see that we are making some improvements and seeing Ms. Apodaca, the changes she's made with her team to implement that this continues to be decreased, it's greatly appreciated. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you. We will go ahead and continue. Thank you, Mr. Ellison.
Thank you very much.
Our next item is to consider approval of additional amount of premiums for insurance policies. And our presenter for this is Ms. Apodaca.
I believe Ms. Gensler's on.
Oh, Ms. Gensler, I'm so sorry.
Yeah,
I did not
no
see you
problem.
there.
Hi, yeah, and I apologize, my video is not working this morning, but I am happy to present. So, Madam Chair, members of the board committee, and Superintendent Blakey, happy birthday. I am requesting consideration and approval for additional amounts for premiums on insurance policy in the amount of $652,000, and it's pursuant to RFP 23-076. I'm happy to answer any questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Gensler. And members of the committee, you may have remembered, we actually have already approved this item, but it was an estimate, and now they actually have the final amount. So that's why this is being brought to us one more time, just to finalize that final number for us. So members of the committee, do you have any questions on this? Okay, thank you so much. We will continue. Our next item is to consider approval of district purchase or expenditures that equals or exceeds $500,000. And this is for, let's see, benefits consulting services. And our presenter on this is Ms. Gensler. Back to you.
Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the board, Superintendent Blakey. I am requesting consideration for approval of actuarial and benefits consulting services for $1.04 million based on RFP 25-011, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Members of the committee, do we have any questions regarding this? Okay, thank you. And I appreciate our speakers popping on in case we did have extra questions. Thank you for being here this morning. So easy breezy for you. We will go ahead and continue. Our next item is to consider approval of the December 2024 cash disbursements. And Ms. Gensler, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the board, Superintendent Blakey. I am requesting consideration for the approval of the December 2024 cash disbursements. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Members of the committee, any questions? Okay, thank you so much. I see none, so we will continue. Our final item is item 5.1. And this is to consider recommending consent agenda board approval of items discussed during the January 22nd, 2025 Finance Committee meeting. These include the qualification of based proposal and signatory authority for easements at Corrales, K through 8 grant budget adjustments, December 2024 grant and budget inter and intra function transfers, gifts, grants, and donations, removal of equipment reported as missing. This is greater than 2 years for July 1st, 2021 through June 30th of 2024. Additional amount on premiums for insurance policies, district purchase or expenditure that equals or exceeds $500,000, actuarial and benefits consulting services. And finally, the December 2024 cash disbursements. May I have a motion, please?
I move that we consider recommending consent agenda board approval of items discussed during the January 22nd, 2025 Finance Committee meeting, including qualification-based proposal and signatory authority for easements at Corrales K through 8, grant budget adjustments, December 2024 grant and budget inter and intra function transfers, gifts, grants, and donations, removal of equipment reported as missing greater than 2 years for July 1st, 2021 through June 30th, 2024, additional amount on premiums for insurance policies, district purchase or expenditure that equals or exceeds $500,000, actuarial and benefits consulting services, and finally, December 2024 cash disbursements. This is Board Member Benavides.
I will second Board Member Tomorito.
Thank you so much, ladies. Dr. Albright may have a motion. I may have a roll call.
Ronaldo Tomorito,
Yes.
Heather Benavides,
Yes.
Crystal Tapia Romero.
Yes, thank you. So our next Finance Committee meeting will be Wednesday, February 26, 2025 at 8 a.m. Virtually. And with that, this meeting is adjourned. Have a great day, everyone. Again, happy birthday, Superintendent.
Chair Tapia Romero, it says 5 p.m. on the agenda. So
Right,
is it
it's
8?
supposed to be 8, yes.
Oh, okay. Awesome.
Yes, yes. Thank you so much.